and a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 7 minutes after the hour of 8. Come on, cheers! Say anything proper. Cheers! Steel Pan could play any time of the year, you know. Yes, indeed. And let me say a special good night to those of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for being on with us tonight. Those of you joining us via 94.9, yes, indeed, We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. A special good night to all our listeners out there. Those of you joining us online, those of you listening via YouTube, those of you listening via Facebook. Yeah, let me say a special good night to the children, of course. Zayla, good night as usual. And Zoe, good night to you. And, of course, Alan and Michelle, good night to both of you. Neela, good night. Namara, good night. But Zelia, good night to you, Zelia. I hope you're behaving yourself tonight, you know, Zelia. You and Zayla and Zoe and all your children, a little easy, you know. Good night to all of the lovely little children listening on tonight. And you know you all only have a half hour and then it's bedtime, eh? Nice, yeah, bedtime for all you just know. Nice, yeah, so let's get into it. Good night to those of you on the Talking Points Facebook page. Let me say a good night to Landon Jane, Dennis Fabio, Sunny Isle. Good night to you, Etta Batiste, McLean Mitchell, Norma Roberts, Nesta Sinclair, Agatha Debole, good night to you. Charmaine Ragbasing, good night. Cicely Celestine, good night to you. And Anna Lewis, let me see what else is there. Ascend Ing, good night to you. Susan Steel, no, this is Steel Sue, good night to you. Sherry Lambert, Edlin David, Kathleen Jones, Marilyn Ferguson, Annette Mitchell, Enid Decoto, good night to you all. Chrissy, yeah, Crystal Theodore, good night to you. Linda Imelda Francois, good night to you, my dear. Evelyn Narayan, good night. And let me see, Christine Adams, good night to you, cuz. I hope you had a wonderful birthday over the weekend. And let me see, Sherms Hostin, Yvonne Courtney, good night to you. Shemi Joseph, good night. Tegwa, good night to you. Linda George, good night. Adorable Kathy Gilbert Levine, good night to you, my cuz. Teresa Buddy Frederick, good night. And Ingrid Bourne. Yeah, let me see who is over on the YouTube, because I saw the YouTube bubbling quite early. Wilma Paris, good night. Kathleen Ledlow, Listra Abraham, Agnes Henry, Alban Harris, good night to you, bro. Baby Daddy, Wilfred Antwine, Carib Spice, Jackie Raymond, Gemma Warwood, Michelle Alexander, Yolande Pariag, Public Notice, Phyllis Mitchell, Deborah Laborde, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Jenny Samuel, good night. Maria Noel, Edmund Calise, Ann Andrews, Veronica Lewis, Dominic Antwine, good night, bro. Dominic in the house, man. Yes, of course. Edmund Calise, good night to you. Carl Jones, Christine Otley, Smart. Yeah, Smart. Good night, bro. Good night. I hear from you for a little while. Clive Raymond, good night. Good life. Angie, Jerome Lewis, Janice Mitchell, Dennis Sandy, let me see, Sherma Jeremiah, Hillary Joseph. Yeah, Alan, well, I shout you out already, you know, but shout you out again, Alan Jones. Kathleen Knight, Jacket Man, good night, bro. Eliza Bernard, Hermina Batiste, Velma Pascal, Matthew Bowen, Maria Marcel, Beavis John, Haro is in the house, good night to you, Haro. Anastasia, Stephen Simon, Desiree Joseph, Kelvin Alexis, Shrajan John, Julian Peterson. Why, you're watching from England? Julian, hope you're having a wonderful one. I hope it ain't too cold for you. Sandra Pascal, you and Zelia will probably be even all yourself there. Leonora George Buckmeyer, good night. Leonora, feel free to call her. If you have anything you want to raise on seed, feel free. Joyce Phillip out there in Trinidad, good night to you. Miriam Samuel, good night to you. And Pastor Casimir, give me a call in relation to the activity that you are having. All right? Yeah, give me a call in relation to that as well.
Refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger.
Yes, and the phone lines are open 440-7377 and 347-329-3101.
So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And
so folks, sorry, I missed one on the WhatsApp caller. We'll call you back shortly. Let me just make the statement. We have decided, because the general consensus is that Thursday night and Friday night we will do the rebroadcast of all of the presentations in Parliament between last week and this week. We know that many of you did not get the opportunity to listen to the various presentations. So we are going to air them in the order that they came. So we're going to start with Dr. Mitchell's presentation on Thursday night, followed by the presentation by the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. And then on Friday, we are going to broadcast the presentations by the Honorable Clarice Modest Going, followed by the presentation of the Honorable Peter David, followed by the presentation of the Honorable Emlyn Pear. So on Monday night, you'll be having two, because Dr. Mitchell spoke for roughly 2 hours, and I think Honorable Peters the same thing. So we will be broadcasting. We'll start from 7, and that's all we'll be broadcasting. We're starting from 7. We'll be having a rebroadcast of the budget response by Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and then that will be followed immediately followed by the presentation that was done by Sister Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. Then on Friday, we will broadcast the other 3, because they had limited the time down from the 2 hours to 1 hour. So we'll have 3 hours. So starting at 7 p.m. on Friday night, we'll rebroadcast. So we're going to be starting with the Honorable Clarice Modest Going, followed by the Honorable Peter David, followed by the Honorable Emlyn Pear. So those 3 will be broadcast on Friday night, God's willing. All right, just letting you all know early, that is the plan for Thursday and for Friday night. All right, and then back to regular programming on Monday. All right, nice. Just letting you all know how the thing go. Nice. Oh dear, I'm putting on music that isn't playing. And I hope you all are hearing me clearly, because I know one person messaged already that they were hearing me very low. I hope that has been resolved.
left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time grenade I need some food. You think politicians would trick us with campaign promises? We won't stay at
So let's try to get the caller who was trying to reach me on the WhatsApp. Let's see if we can get them.
the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. You remember in the Bible, God
The children saying they're staying up an extra hour because school is out.
the same Jonah, lots of doubt, so I'm running up my mouth. And I'm counting no chicken before the hatch. Politicians sometimes
Also, folks, please take notice. I believe tomorrow will be the Senate sitting, Wednesday and Thursday. So we will be attempting to broadcast the presentations by members of the New National Party team as well.
with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it
So we will send out a notice via the normal means when we are going to do so, but we should be broadcasting the presentations by the various members on the NNP team.
From Jonah, here comes Tilly with more pressure and hunger. And from the mouth of Grenada, only one thing I utter: the Congress neglect us.
So 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. I was supposed to have a guest on with me tonight, but unfortunately, because there was an issue that was raised during the budget debate, and that is the issue in relation to lands in St. John. And I was supposed to have a guest on in relation to that tonight, but due to circumstances beyond both our control, they are unable to join me tonight. But we're looking forward to having them on with me tomorrow night. Yeah, that's the Honorable Alvin Dabrio. I still say it. The Honorable Alvin Dabrio will be on with me tomorrow night. Yeah, I know the people of St. John, they love Alvin, eh? Yeah, they love the Alvin, yeah. And then considering where you have now, I mean, yeah, they had to love Alvin, yeah.
Hoping you lose the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. By the way, what will be your theme for the next campaign? It can never be about change again. And in what language are you going to tell people to vote for NDC? In Japanese or Chinese?
You know, one of the things that became obvious and became very clear from the budget presentation, and I mean, I have paid attention to budget presentations over the past few years. And one of the things that became very apparent with this particular budget presentation, contrary to what a lot of people were saying, it proves what I've been saying here week after week after week. Things are happening in Grenada in spite of and not because of the government in office. Yeah? Can anyone who has paid attention, who has listened to the debate itself, or has listened to the news coming out of the debate, point to any major thing that this government has introduced that is going to change the landscape of Grenada, or that they have spoken on that was not existing before? For instance, and you'll hear it when you listen over the presentation by Sister Emlyn Pear. She spoke to that. When it came to the issue of Grenadian history being taught in schools, she clarified. Within the module, within the social studies module that was being used in schools, there was always a component of Grenadian history within there. So you would speak about various aspects of Grenadian history. You may not go in depth, but you would speak about Grenadian history during the social studies module over the years. Now, this has not been an idea of the NDC administration. Let's make that very clear. Teaching Grenadian history in Grenadian schools to Grenadian children, who could then go and talk to the parents about it, so teach them too, and the grandparents and the uncle and aunt and everybody. But teaching Grenadian history in Grenadian schools was not an idea, was not started under the National Democratic Congress. In fact, it was started during the period of the new National Party. Yeah? Dr. Dow, who wrote the textbook that is being used within the schools right now, Dr. Dow was engaged not by this administration, but by the last administration. The Honorable Emlyn Pear, then Minister of Education, had face-to-face meetings with Dr. Dow. The book was started. The draft was prepared before this administration came into office. So it is not a situation where they came into office on the 23rd of June and that they decided, hey, here no history being taught inside here. Time for us to handle the thing now. We're going and teach history. That was not the situation. Yeah? It was a situation where they met a project ready to go, where all the legwork had been done already, where there was a stated policy within the Ministry of Education. And yeah, it seems as though my voice want to go on me today too. Yeah. There was a stated policy within the Ministry of Education that they would introduce as a separate subject, not just as a module of social studies, but that they would introduce within the Grenadian school system the subject of Grenadian history. Yeah? And there was not just a policy, but there was actual work that had taken place before the elections of last year. Right? So it is not a case that anybody come in and they're so patriotic and they so nationalistic and they're so, well, we know they're xenophobic, but we didn't know this, did we? Yeah, because a lot of information that should have been flowing from before did not flow in the way it ought to have flown. But it is a fact. It is a fact that that book, because they want to give you the impression, they want to give you the impression that this thing started when they came into office and that they contact Dr. Dow and that Dr. Dow wrote that book in record time because they decided they want to teach Grenadian history in schools. So that Dr. Dow wrote a book in record time. In fact, there were discussions before the elections in relation to that same book that's being used now. There were discussions in relation to having the book digitally available. So in other words, instead of children having to go, hi, good night, Zach Williams. Instead of children's parents having to go and purchase a hard copy and so, they can have the book digitally. So they can have it on their various devices, be it their mobile phone, be it their tablet, be it their laptop or whatever they're using, that they can have that book on the device. So that was part of the discussion. In fact, there was a wider discussion in relation to digitizing various texts, getting the copyright to digitize various texts that are being used in the school system so that they can be available to Grenadian students digitally instead of having to have the hard copy, which could get damaged, which could get lost, etc. When you have the digital copy, it's quite easier. And I mean, COVID taught us a lot in relation to those things. Yeah? It taught us that sometimes you need to have things in a digital sense and not always the physical sense. So that you don't necessarily want to have to leave to go into Grenlec, or you don't want to leave to have to go into Flow, or you don't want to have to leave to go into wherever, but that you can do so digitally. And that carried over into education as well, which is why there was that wider discussion in relation to the teaching of Grenadian history, that it be done, that book also be available digitally. What they have done with that policy directive within the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Education probably have to answer for that. But that was one of the policy directives that took place within there. And it just goes to show what I have been saying all along. Things are happening in spite of and not because of this administration. They want to give you the impression that they are the ones that getting this done and getting that done. Remember, it's the same civil servants who inside there who were carrying out the policy directives of the new National Party. Yeah, they were carrying out the policy directives of the new National Party administration. So when this bunch came in, I'm waiting to see how their policy directives have affected any ministry in a significant way, in a positive way. I've seen how it's affected ministries in a negative way. I've seen the destruction, for instance, of the Ministry of Youth. No one can convince me that we have a Ministry of Youth at this point in time. We do not. We have a shell. There is no Ministry of Youth. And when they think that simply renaming programs is progress. Because again, as I told you, when I was growing up, some of the houses in the area where I was growing up, because we lived near to the mangroves, so you had a lot of termites. Yeah? And the termites would eat out the walls on some of the houses. But the people would still paint it when it's Christmas time with oil paint, and so it looked nice, shiny. But if you just push your finger it go right through. It looks nice on the outside. You rename it. But there's nothing on the inside holding it together. There's nothing taking place in there. And pray tell, they have competent staff within the ministry. Let me say that again. For those of you that down in the back and probably didn't hear when I said it the first time. They have competent staff within the Ministry of Youth. Very competent staff. So the failures of the ministry can't be placed on the shoulders of a permanent secretary or senior executive officer or a project officer or something like that. They had competent staff. I don't know for who they bring in now. Because if you bring in somebody and I can't see, if you bring in a new coordinator of youth and assistant coordinator and all these things, and you can't see things happening positively within the ministry, it means that probably you have to relook what is taking place within that ministry. Because look at things that were happening before. This government, as far as we know, have not hired a single individual Imani since coming into office. You know the record of the New National Party. Within the first 6 months of retaking office in 2013, there were over 2,000 young people engaged. Within the first year, you were over 3,000, going for 4,000 young people engaged under that program. The figures are there. The facts are there. Yet still on 18 months going in, there are no opportunities being created through the present Ministry of Youth for the development of young people. In fact, the only young person that seems to be developing themselves is the minister developing his pocket. That seems to be the only development that's taking place there. Salary double since coming into office. Non-taxable. Yeah? You had to pay 25%, you had to pay a tax on it. Yeah? But non-taxable. Their salary is double. Non-taxable. Yeah? And in the interim, you ask yourself, with these young people that are out here right now, what is taking place with them? Will they be receiving any opportunities? Will they be getting any opportunities? Because you're not hearing about Imani. The Youth Biz program doesn't seem to exist again. There's a center that has been set up in St. Mark so that young entrepreneurs on the West Coast who want the opportunity to go and interact and find out, well, okay, they have a business idea, they want to develop that business idea, they could have gone to that center and they could have easily gotten the opportunity to go and start their own small business. Yeah? They could have gotten the opportunity, the funding, they would have, before, they would have gotten direction as into doing your, things like your community mapping and so on. And after you do your community mapping, so you know if there is a need for your particular business within the community, if it would be successful, and then writing a proper business plan after you have that information and checking what your inflows and outflows are. Yeah, making sure that you're registered for tax and all those different things. And then making sure you have a proper business plan so that you can apply for a loan. And after you get the loan, not that you just give the person a loan and you forget about them, but that you give them the loan and on a monthly basis that the ministry has people checking up on these individuals who have the small businesses to make sure that things are going the way they ought to be going. You don't just throw them in the water and tell them swim. You help them. If you have to pull them back to shore, you pull them back to shore. If you have to throw a life preserver, you do it. If you have to jump in and rescue them, you do it. But you can't just throw them out. So these are some of the things that the Ministry of Youth were doing. There are many. And I think sometimes I blame people like myself and I blame some of the people who have benefited through programs like the Imani program for the impression that people have of the Imani, that they use Imani as a bad word right now. So you want to cuss somebody and tell them to behave like a Imani. And many of us have allowed the word to become a bad word. Even many of us that should know better have allowed the word to become a bad word. So people use it as a disparaging statement. Oh, there's a Imani police, or there's a Imani this or Imani that. When it ought to have been something that people feel proud to be associated with. There are medical doctors right now who started in the field under Imani. There are bank managers. Notice what I say. Bank managers who started under the Imani program. That's how they got a foot, a toe in the door to get into that institution. There are many people in middle management in the financial sector here in Grenada, in credit unions, in commercial banks, etc., who started under the Imani program. You know the problem? They don't tell anybody that. They won't say, they won't call a program like this and say, well, I started under the Imani and look where I am right now. You have police officers, you have nurses, you have all these categories of people. You literally, I am sure, have at least 200 people who are within the teaching profession that got in there under the Imani program. And I'm not even just talking about people that are on the contract. I'm talking about people who are full teachers under the public service right now that got into there under the Imani program. Do you hear them? Do they come out and say anything? You have people who are working within the civil service right now. Yes, working at the ministerial complex, not under a contract. I'm talking about fully employed by the public service of Grenada in various capacities. Various capacities that got their first opportunity through the Imani program. Yet still, you have people that are using that word as though it's a bad word. So this government, instead of, they say the program, we know the program has its faults, but instead of improving on the program, their way of improving on the program is that they say they're going to change the name. So we have to expect within the next few months to next year, next budgetary cycle, which is the next year, so around this time next year, we should be hearing of a new name for what used to be the Imani program. They did that before. They changed it from Imani to Grenada Youth Upliftment Program. I know, I designed the logo. Yeah? How did that go? Yeah? How did that go? You sent home 2,000 people back in 2008, at the end, around this time. Sent home. All those people that was under the Imani program were sent home around this same time in 2008, just before Christmas. And most of the staff as well. How did that turn out? Because within the entire period of time that they were there, at no time did they even get back 2,000 young people under that program. With the present Imani, they came in June 2022. There were roughly 3,000 plus young people under that program, just under 4,000. Right now, it's just about to drop under 2,000. And it's not that they found jobs for all of these young people, you know. It's that they have been letting them go drip by drip by drip, getting rid of them out of the program. So what's the improvement? You ask them about the youth biz, they can't tell you. How many young people have gotten assistance under the youth biz, under the Empower, under Project Fly, all of these programs that existed, that assisted young people, that went into communities, looked for the young men that were heading on the wrong direction, and offered some sort of direction to them, and gave them training in various things, so that you saw that the ministry was able to help out some with power washers, they were able to help out some with weed whackers, they were able to help out some with computers because they got into graphic design, and who wanted to get into music, and so they helped them with microphone and different things. So you were helping these young people to realize their dreams. Right now, all the young people can do is dream. They can't realize it. And yet still you go and stand up in front of the Grenadian people and talking like if you have some massive achievement. What achievement? What achievement? Statutorization. You created a statutory body to replace the Ministry of Sports. Say that. That is what you've done. And when challenged on various aspects of the legislation that was passed in 2012 in relation to that, in specific, the section that speaks to playing fields being unaccessible unless they get the okay from the National Sports Council, then you start to say, well, we're going to go to Parliament with it. St. Lucia, good night. Then you start to say you're going to go to Parliament with it. What you have to do first is what you're looking to do after. So you sign it into law, and then you want to go to Parliament to change different aspects of it. Because why? Because they're rushing to do things, and everything is a rush, rush, rush. Everything is a rush. So they're trying to rush to do this one. Yeah? Everything is a rush. So now you hear, okay, they have to resurface the track in the stadium. Let me tell you all, that is not a new something. For at least 2 years. So the 18 months plus a few months before the election. Because when you say 2 years, people go say, well, oh, NNP time. No. Just a few months before the election, the discussions in relation to resurfacing that track started, along with other work that ought to have been way advanced at both the athletic and the cricket stadium. They ought to have been way advanced by this point in time. But don't blame the staff at the ministry. They know what to do. They know how to do it. I blame the policy people. In other words, the minister and his cronies who have been doing nonsense. Because at this point in time, a lot of the work that had to be done on the cricket stadium could have been completed. A lot of the work that had to be done on the athletic stadium, including the track, could have been completed. And it's going to happen, you know. It's going to happen. And not because of the NDC administration, but in spite of them. The sun doesn't rise in the morning because the cock crow. The sun rises in the morning because the sun does rise in the morning. It's in spite of, and not because of the cock. It's the spin of the earth. Yeah? That's why you see the sun go up and the sun go down. The spin of the earth. Yeah? But the fowl still feel, every time he go out and he cocky-doodle-doo, make it as my little son does say, cock-a-doodle-doo. Think that when he do that in the morning, he that make the sun rise. No, things are happening in our country in spite of and not because of. And you listen to the budget and you're trying to find out inside there, well, what new? Okay, they're speaking about WASH program as though WASH is not a new program. And I'm not referring to the fact that another program a few years ago here in Grenada carried that name. I'm not referring to the fact that under UNESCO, under the Red Cross and Red Crescent, under various other international organizations, that you have a program carrying the same acronyms, carrying the same name, and aiming at the same objectives. I'm not even speaking of that. I'm speaking of the fact that over the years, the New National Party had started on a pit toilet eradication program. But they come and they call it fancy name, WASH. And then they say they're doing a national susu for it. And up to now, we're still waiting to hear what's taking place with the national susu, you know. We're still waiting to hear what's taking place with the national susu. Because they started to collect money that night, contrary to the financial rules. Contrary to the fiscal act. They started to collect money that night itself. There was no officer appointed there by the accountant general. There were no receipts given. But yet still money was collected on behalf of the government of Grenada right there. So they're talking about WASH as though this is a brand new idea. They came in. And again, I blame people like myself, and I blame the people who have received those bathroom and toilets for not talking out and saying, well, this is not something new. You all know the bathroom and toilet you're using right now, you got it under a program by the New National Party where they had brigades of people. I could talk to St. David's, where you had Mando and the team out there doing bathroom and toilets for various people throughout St. David. And the same in the different parishes and the different constituencies, that you had teams of people that were out there doing bathroom and toilet from Petit Martinique right down. So this is not a new initiative. If you want to name it something, okay, go ahead. That's what they're doing to everything. Name it something new and make it seem as though it's some idea, some brilliant idea that they came with. No, there was a concerted effort under the last administration to ensure that people had water and that you have bathroom and toilet facilities. Proper bathroom and toilet facilities. So to try to give the impression that it's you that come and trying to do that and it's something new is absolute nonsense. But again, I blame me and I blame those who receive because they're quiet. They ain't saying anything. It's like I get already, so who behind the business? Yeah, nothing about being grateful or this, It is about speaking out and letting people know that some people are lying out there or trying to mislead people out there into believing that what they're doing is something new. Project 500, you're going and build 500 houses. Wonderful. If you could get through with it, wonderful. I'm all for it. As long as the people who need it are the ones that get it. Don't you all find it very strange that you ain't seeing any sign of the people moving into those low-income houses? All you find that very strange. All you find it very strange. I know when I talk now to go run and do it. All you find it very strange that you ain't see GIS putting out anything. Or the GIS Part 2, which is now GBN. You all ain't find that, all you see something with them, with 10 people moving in, 10 different families moving in, and they go with the camera. You know why? Because people catching their nenen to get the payment to be able to purchase the places. They extended the time to 90 days and people catching their nenen. The minister said that the intention was to have people moved in by Christmas. You listen to this presentation? I know his voice was going worse than mine right now. Yeah? You listen to this presentation? I maybe missed part, but I still waiting to hear the part that people have moved in and it's Christmas time and everybody moving in. Because I spoke with an individual who got one of the places. He said when he went to a particular commercial bank, the bank said, we ain't dealing with none of that. Those are the way hearing from government. We are not dealing with that. We're not taking any of those places. Yeah, we're not getting into any loan arrangement for any of those places. The individual then had to go to the credit unions. And they keep getting the run around. And they run around. And they run around. In the credit union. Yeah? They keep getting the run around from the credit union. So they are still trying to secure the funding. Because remember, what these people have done is that they have said they're not accepting any part payments. You can't say that the apartment is 55,000. Let's just speak about the one bedroom here. Not even the one that's 75. Let's say the one bedroom. That is 55,000. And you have 20,000. Let's say that you, your family members, everybody get together and they decide we're going to help and they chomp up and they get 20,000 for you. They are not accepting the 20,000, They say you have to come with the full money. So if the place is 55 and you have 40,000 and you say, I could pay this right now, and then they're not accepting. They want the full amount. They want the $55,000. They're not accepting part payments. That is what is taking place with them. So you realize that they kind of gone quiet on that one. We just pick it up. You realize they've gone very, very quiet when it comes to that issue of those houses, those low-income houses, the Chinese houses. They ain't talking about that. They gone quiet. You know why? People catching the hell. People catching the hell. Some of the people, there are one or two that I've spoken to that used to work at different places in the civil service and they retired. And they had applied and they got through for one of the apartments. And because they retired, the bank ain't giving them no loan. The bank, no, you retired, you crossed 60 already. Where you working right now to be able to pay back on this loan? No. The bank refused because these individuals are retired. The credit union ain't watching them. Talking about credit union, go give this percent and bank, go give that percent. And so check the reality out there. How much of them always see movie in them place? Those are you that living up St. David's side. How much of them that moving the places? How many of them are you seeing out there right now in the places? 1 or 2? How many? Let us know. We have a call online. Good night.
How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
That's all.
Okay.
No, what I would, I'm just a suggestion. I hope that, he could work on your side. I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the minimum wage that increased and starting from January. Now, I would like maybe if you could get the rates of the different workplace that people would have to pay the workers that working with them, so at least they could have an idea of what they would have to pay the employers, because I have a small business and I'm very concerned because to me what I'm hearing is that the amount of money I may have to put out for these workers, to me I may have to send them home because to be honestly there is no way I think I could be able to pay this kind of a money I'm hearing. So I would really like for you to see, if you could get that list of that, so at least you could, call it out on the program, so at least people that have little small business and thing would have an idea of the amount, that people would have to pay the employers and stuff like that, if you could. Thanks very much.
No problem.
All right?
Yes, my dear.
Thanks.
And I will attempt to do that, and I do get your point. I believe it is very important that we put that out there. And just to let people know, the minimum wage refers to the lower end of what you can pay. So in other words, you can't pay anybody under that amount. You could pay them over. So for individuals who are already working for over that amount, right? If you are all, for instance, if the minimum wage in a particular area is $1,500, but you are already working for $1,800, that new minimum wage order doesn't affect you. But if the new minimum wage is $1,500 and you are working for $800, your employer now has to make the difference to bring you up to $1,500, or they will be legally, criminally in breach of this act. All right? So they have two options. They have to either find the money and pay you, or they have to close shop. Yeah, they might have to close up shop, or they might have to send you home. And so I'm looking for the actual I did have the document. I must say that I did have the document. The government did send it out. I wouldn't say that they didn't do it if they didn't do it. They did send out that document. I am searching to see where I have it now, but I did see the minimum wage document. It spoke to even people working in the media field. It spoke to people, the caregivers and so on, and all of that. So I have to check it out. I may not be able to do it tonight because I may not have it on the system here. I may have it on the system at home. So I may have to, well, I can see if I can sign in and get it. But I may not be able to do it right now. But I think that the caller is making a valuable point that should be promoted and people should know, because they just have basically 2 weeks, They just have 2 weeks before they have to start. Yeah, they're going to have to start, well, not 2 weeks, 6 weeks really, because, not even 6 weeks, because some people are being paid on the half. So 4 weeks before they have to start paying at that level, because it is effective as of the 1st of January. So let me say it again. Whatever the new wage is, if you are working for under that, they have to increase your salary up to that level. Whether it's an increase by $300, $400, $500, $1,000, whatever it is, they have to increase your salary up to that level. Yeah? If you are already past that level, minimum wage has nothing to do with you. But take note, no employer can say that you're working for over the minimum wage and then drop you down to the minimum wage. No, they can't do that. Right? So let's make that clear. No, for instance, you're working for $1,800, but the minimum wage as of the 1st of January is $1,500. They cannot take out $300 and say then The minimum wage days, all governments say we have to pay is 1,500, you know. They cannot take out money from your salary to bring you down to the minimum wage, all right? Just so you all know, all right? Even though I don't have much faith in the department. Again, it's have a Ministry of Labor Day. Or you could be able to find somebody to help, like, you know, I don't know, but 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Again, you look in the budget and you try to figure out, okay, what new is here? You hear the talk about the Marketing and National Importing Board and what they want to do with the Marketing and National Importing Board, and all it was there, and all you didn't fix it, and all you this, and all you that. Yes, spend the next 3 years cussing NNP about what was there and all it was there and all kind of thing. Go ahead, continue doing that. Take my advice. Continue doing that, right? But you heard what Honorable Peter David said in relation to that issue yesterday. You heard him go down historically and said what was the intent of the Marketing and National Importing Board. Yeah? And that the people who claim to love Bishop and the Revolution so much have taken the Marketing and National Importing Board in a totally different direction from what the original intent of the Marketing and National Importing Board was supposed to be. Yeah? They have taken it in a totally different direction. So that had to be pointed out. So again, what has this government done? And I don't know, maybe somebody could call me and tell me, what has this government done that is so transformational? The only thing they're transforming is names. The only thing they're transforming is names. So your toilet and bathroom repair program is now WASH. You had teams of men and so on out under the New National Party going out and building bathroom and toilets for people. It existed. So to come and give the impression now that that was something that never existed and that it had to be done now, I mean, come on. Yeah? Come on, really and truly. Take us seriously and try and understand that we have some intelligence. You can't just come with these kind of thing. Yeah? So 440-7377. You can call us on WhatsApp. You can call us directly. And 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on to the inside tonight. Somebody, let me know what this government has done that is new, that is not happening right now in spite of them, but because of them. They've reduced on the amount of people under the debushing program and those kind of things. So that one is happening because of them. Yeah, I could get them that one. That one happened because of them. They reduced the amount of people that have the opportunity to get opportunities under debushing and so. So that is less money for the poor man. Meanwhile, they make sure they double their salary. Yeah? Nice, yeah. So maybe somebody could tell me one thing that they have done that's so transformational, because the WASH program, the Grenadian history in schools, all these things that they're boasting about are things that existed. I listened to the minister with responsibility for climate change speak about and throwing word for people and all sort of nonsense. I was wondering if she forget his parliamentary, because I was waiting to hear the money. Because all I have to say is, if you're traveling, listen, in my time in government, one of the things I hated doing is traveling. Especially you see that part about going over the Atlantic there, when you're in that plane, I hate it. Yeah, never liked it. Right? And they could check the records and see how much times I travel on behalf of the government of Grenada. One of the people I never like to travel is me. I prefer to be home. As soon as I go, I'm ready to reach back already. Yeah? Why must I leave heaven and go when I could stay? Yeah? But at least if you're going, come back with something. That's the point Grenadians are trying to make, you know. Remember, now there's an over 100% increase in the budget for traveling. An over 100% increase. In other words, they're going and travel even more in 2024. So there's an over 100% increase in the traveling budget. Yeah? And these people still can't say what they're coming back with. Listen, if you want to be out 28 days in a month, that is one thing. But when you come back, you better come back with at least 28 million, a million a day. Come back with something for the Grenadian people. So you went. You go in a fancy hotel. You went to some fancy dinners and so on. You drive in Mercedes Benz and all sort of thing all over the place and so. Yeah, you take first class flights going here, there, private thing here, so going all over. And then you come back to Grenada with only the thoughts, memories, and that's it. Pictures, videos, that's it. Show me the money. That is what we want to see. Show me the money. So yes, you're spending time in the Middle East and you're spending time in Europe and you're spending time in North America. But when you get back to Grenada, Grenadians only have one thing on their mind. Show us the money. We have a caller online. Good night. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night, caller.
Good night. Well, you want to know what they do? Making people go. That is the motto that they did.
My goodness.
For the amount of people they dismiss and make go from their job. That is what they did.
All right, my dear. Thank you. And you know, even with that, and the people I see them every now and again, and they call every now and again. What about the people under the faith program? Yeah? They're starting to call who Mrs. this and Mrs. that. And what about the people who are under the faith program, who are facing the Christmas right now, when the government of Grenada owes them? Don't give the nonsense as a company and all this kind of thing. I know the case is in court, you know, and the case will come up. And the government will lose. Let me say that. They talk one set of nonsense, foolishness. In my most perfect of Trinidadian Hindi, Gubar. They speak a lot of nonsense in relation to the Kimpton by Kawana issue together with True Blue Incorporated. Yeah? A sort of nonsense they spoke in relation to that. There was a clear-cut case. Don't worry, I ain't forget faith. There was a clear-cut case that Grenada would definitely have won at the international court. In fact, Grenada has won cases there before. But they are focusing on one case, the Grenlec case, that the NDC government put a buyback clause in, and that is what was effected, which is the reason you end up at the International Criminal Court, because the NDC administration, yeah, that was back in 1994 when they sold Grenlec. The conditions under which they sold Grenlec is what caused government to have to end up at the International Court on this particular issue. So they were pointing to that. They didn't tell you that the sitting prime minister right now was the lawyer for WRB. They ain't telling you that when the payment had to be made to WRB, who bank account? Mr. Prime Minister, you could tell us that? Who bank account the money from the government of Grenada had to pass through to get to WRB? And that person had to keep a percentage. Who was the law firm? Mr. Prime Minister? Because I believe it's you. I believe it's you. So to try to use that now as the angle that, hey, we're going to pay off these people. Yes, they go and they pay them these millions of dollars. What they are not telling you that there are over 200 investors in that program that are now owed $56 million. And we're talking US here, we ain't talking EC. Because they already went and they paid these people. They've started the process of paying them off the 22 million US. Yes, 22 million US that they are paying to these people who they could have beaten in court. They could have beaten these people in court. Because all of the information is there. The facts are clear. Not saying the rumors, The facts in relation to this issue are clear. Had Grenada gone to the court, Grenada would definitely have won. Not might have win. Not could have win. They would have won. No if, what, or but about it. But this government come in, and instead of pursuing, they decide to pay off. So give them 22 million. But on the street, you're hearing people say, listen, that is payback. Because you're hearing the accusation that that same company that was given 22 million US was funding the NDC campaign. That is what you're hearing out there. That they are the ones. Because remember, the Prime Minister talked about, look and see who was paying for the big song system and the stage and the artists and all these different. You remember he was saying them kind of thing. The present Prime Minister was saying that before the last election. So now we have to look at who are benefiting when they ought not to have benefited. And that company should not have been paid. It should not have been settled. And who settled it? When they're settling it, you get to realize that the accountant for the company that was suing Grenada, the person who was the accountant for that company, was on the committee to decide if to pay the company. So somebody who was the accountant, who was dealing with the people money, who was the person doing the books for them, the organization, their company was doing the books for them. That individual sat on a committee to decide if to give the company that they're doing accounting for money. And I'm supposed to trust the outcome of that committee, right? The committee chaired by a person who was in charge of the bank that company does all their transactions to. But I'm supposed to trust the outcome of that, right? This is the sort of thing that has been happening with that. But they go and they settle with them. Before the judgment came out in relation to the issue with the teachers, they went and they paid the teachers. They didn't wait for no judgment. But the faith workers, because it's poor people. Because it's poor people. Because people are there to pay at 800 here and at 1200 there per month and them kind of thing. Because it's poor people. They just decide we could treat them like we want. We ain't paying. And try to flip it onto the New National Party. And try to flip it onto various people within the New National Party. When they know they did not pay. But don't worry, the day will come when these people will be paid, because all you ain't there forever. All you must go. And every day is a day closer to when all you go. That is of one thing I am absolutely sure. Every single time that sunset is one less day all you have inside. Not one more, one less. Yeah? So the time will come. The time will come. Because these people will be judging you all when that time comes. And the day will come when you have to pack up and go. But to do that to these people, you see the way they treat different people. So you have the foreigners who say all kind of thing about Grenada and so on. Bring a case against Grenada. Spend 18 million EC or so in Grenada. You settle with them, you give them 22 million, you shake down, you tell them go. You left hole in the bag now for all the investors. So you are now left hole in the bag for the over 200, I think about 214 or so investors that you have to find $56 million to repay. Well, not even 56, it will be more than that, because the base figure is 56 million. If you have to pay for damages and interest, etc., it's going to be over that. So the base figure is at least 56 million US, that every time we mention that, they go silent. They have nothing to say in response to that, because they know it is a fact. That they have to find that money to pay them. Yes, you got a new investor. Wonderful, Mr. Sariri. Yeah, wonderful. Mr. Sariri came here under the New National Party. Is the same man all he was saying trying to buy out Grenada. It's the same man that when he was cleaning up the area that Silver Sands is right now, you all say that the man go in and put things to block all your view of the beach. It's at bush there, you couldn't see the beach. But he go in and block all your view of the beach. It's the same man that all you went on the beach when he had the thing and you find it too close to the water, too close to the beach itself, that you had operatives, agents, and sycophants of the National Democratic Congress went down on Granans Beach with their camera and said that had to move. The same man. It's the same individual. He ain't changed. It's the same man. The same man that always say was trying to buy out the whole of Camahon Park. Because he had owned the Rivera site, always say he trying to buy out the whole. Up to now, you all cannot produce a single shred of evidence that the New National Party had sold Camahon Park, but there was out there about NNP sell Camahon Park and NNP sell Camahon Park. They formed a committee of idiots and all kind of thing about NNP sold Camahon Park. They formed a whole committee based on a lie. And the committee still existing based on a lie. And they knew that, but they believed that people stupid, so they just went ahead with it. So now, they get into agreement. Yes, you get back Rivera. Wonderful. You're going to extend Rivera and to make it part of Camahon Park. Excellent. No problem with that. The New National Party never had the intention of taking over Camahon Park. But that is what these people led some people to believe. And they have a committee, and the committee this, and the committee that, and all kind of nonsense. A committee based on a lie. Because, by now, they should have been able to present some documentation to say, well, look, NNP was trying to sell it. NNP was trying to get rid of it. They should have been able to present something by this point in time to cover what it is that they were claiming. But up to this point in time, you can't see anything from them. Yeah? So now, Mr. Sariri, he is going to be taking over that project, the Kimpton. And we are glad because an investor that the New National Party brought here. So what is taking place there again is taking place in spite of the present Prime Minister and his administration. And not because of them. Because it was the New National Party that got this gentleman into Grenada. And Mr. Fakre, it was the new Mr. Steele. It was the New National Party that got this gentleman into Grenada. So what you're seeing now is the afterglow of the excellent work that was done by the New National Party to bring this multi-billionaire investor into the island. So now he's taken over that project and he will complete that project. All due to the New National Party. See them jumping up about, let us see, we get investor. If only did get a new investor, somebody that wasn't here that the NNP didn't bring, was one thing. And I tell all you, they're going to be bold-faced, they're going and cut ribbon and all kind of thing when beach house opening. And so the same Mr. Sariri, that they say all kind of nasty thing about, we come here, why is here he come? And them Egyptian. And I wouldn't even repeat half of what they said. I wouldn't even repeat quarter of what they said. But these are the same people that were saying all these nasty things. Right now you see they come and they grinning. Some of themselves who was saying some of the most nasty thing and who was running on beach and all kind of things saying that this had to move and that had to move. You know they down in beach house yesterday when beach house opening? You know they did knocking champagne glass clink? You know they run down there yesterday? The same hypocrite and them. So somebody, please, anybody, let me know what it is that this government in that budget has done that is new, that was not a continuation or a renaming of something that the New National Party was doing. Show me a brand new initiative, apart from the Send Home program. Show me a brand new initiative that they have done. Well, you feel afraid to say Randall? Yes, Randall. Randall is one of them that was there on the beach and thing and this had to move. He ain't saying nothing. Mr. Sariri going and do a hotel on top there. No, you have nothing to say. He ain't affecting the coastline. He's not infringing on the beach. Or is it that you've gotten a case of mutitis? You've got nothing to say? It's the same investor all you had all the nasty thing to say about. No, all you're hogging him up. All you're jamming him up tight. Yeah? That's the same man. And I'm telling you all, pretty soon, you all will see the opening of the Six Senses in St. David. And I hope they have the decency to invite Mr. Oliver Joseph. Because Mr. Oliver Joseph take real flack on that project. Oh, they destroying the mangrove, and you had people that went down there and they bring the thing and they showing you, look the mangrove there, and he mashing up the mangrove and they're destroying this and they're destroying that and this getting destroyed and all kind of thing. They had to say in relation to that. I want to hear them now. Let me hear their voices now. I want to know if those same people, those bunch of hypocrites that was running down there and pointing that look the tractor passing day and look this going day and that shouldn't happen and the other shouldn't happen and all of this. I want to know if these same people go in and knock crystal champagne glass clink, clink, clink when you open in. Don't worry, they go have free food. They go have free drinks too. All you go in? Mr. Oliver Joseph could go without an ounce of shame in his body because he was behind the project. In fact, part of his campaign promise was that he would bring a hotel to St. David. He bring two. He promised one, he bring two to St. David. Yeah? Two he brought. So he had nothing to be ashamed about. He did what he promised. But I want to know if some of those people that was saying all kind of thing, if they're going to go up there and clink glass. Clink, clink, clink. Yeah? Somebody, anybody. I'm waiting. Somebody, I mean, even if you're in this, you could call and say, well, this is a project that they institute, you know. Don't call private number, because I ain't sign no private number. All you feel, all you could call and with all this stupidness. And no, we want to know your number. So if you say something out of the way, we call in you and tell you that. So don't call private number. We don't sign that. Right? I tell you all you outright. You know me, straightforward. Right? But give us a call. Let's hear what it is that this government has placed into the budget that is new. What have they put there that was not there before? Yeah? Or that they just changed name on. Right? Let me just let you all know there is the Wester Hall Music Academy. They're having their concert. It's taking place on the 17th. The 17th is when? I think the 17th is Sunday, is it? 17th is Sunday, yeah. So it's going to be taking place at the Grenada Trade Center. Tickets only $45. And that's for adults, $20 for children. Time from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. So you're getting a whole 5 hours of pure music. And live music. And not no kind of DJ and thing. DJ, we love one. Nah, not this kind of thing there right now. Saxophone, keyboard, drum set, guitar, all kind of thing you're getting down there. Don't the triangle. They're going to have wonderful performances by Thamara Songbird St. Bernard. That girl can sing. Yeah. And also Javed Nichols, Kazi, Jonathan Francis, Paul Alexander, Laura Lisa, and Mystic Sax. Yeah, Mystic Sax. So that's going to be taking place at the Grenada Trade Center. And it's taking place this Sunday. That's the Wester Hall Music Academy. They are in concert this Sunday at the Trade Center. Go out there in your numbers. Yeah, it's part of the Christmas vibes. It's that Christmassy thing. You could take the children and you go out and that kind of thing and talk to them at the door, man. You never could tell him, my girl, look a deal as a family and that kind of thing to enter. So tickets, $45 for adults, $20 for children. Head on out to the Wester Hall Music Academy concert taking place this Sunday. And then also, let me see, I have the St. Mark activity is coming up. Where it go? Come back here. Nice. The St. Mark activity, Sunset City Christmas Fiesta, that's taking place on Diamond Street in St. Mark. It's taking place this Thursday. All right, starting from 3 p.m. They're going to have food and music. And of course, they're going to have bouncing castle, face painting, and so on for the children. That starts at 2 o'clock, finishes around 6. So they're going to have some children's activities. They're going to have karaoke as well from 6 p.m. They also have loads of giveaways. They have food on sale. Yes, so from bakes and fish cake to Tanya log, Manish water, wild meat, black cake, potato pudding, local wines. Yeah, I was some homemade wine, Madame Glory. Right, okay. Sorrel and ginger beer, puncha cream, and much more. This is being staged by the St. Mark Parliamentary Office and Friends. So, Dr. Modest, a special good night to you, ma'am. I know most likely a day busy getting things together for that activity on Thursday. So, Dr. Clarice Modest, yeah, herself, the Parliamentary Representative Office and Friends, they are staging this activity, and they're going to have Tamara Songbird is going to be up there as well. Akeda Lewis, Sonica McKee. She had an excellent show over the weekend. That young lady, not only can she sing, but she teaches other folks to sing as well. The Clark's Court Caress Band, you know them fellas and them could jam. Prince and the guys, they could real jam and thing. Nice. So they will be there as well. So the Sunset City Christmas Fiesta is taking place this Thursday. All right, so hope to see you all there. All right. Oh, yeah, so yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program.
We go dead. We go dead. Oh God, we go dead. We go dead. We go dead. We go dead. Oh God, we go dead. Is the cry in the country? The people them angry. We go dead. We go dead. And they born.
All right, and the St. Andrew Southwest constituency. I know tomorrow they have the elderly dinner and gift giving and so on. That's going to be at the Grand Bra Community Center.
We go dead. We go dead. Man, we can't buy no grocery. We don't have no more.
In St. Andrew Southeast, they're going to be down in Cafe tomorrow. They're just moving around, you know. So, Sister Emlyn Pear and her folks, they'll be there. And that's on Thursday. Anyway, from 4 p.m. going back, yeah, she'll be down in Cafe. And of course, you have the Christmas Fiesta, the St. Mark constituency branch. They're having that on Thursday. On Friday, Sister Emlyn Pierce, she out there in Marquee. So look out for Marquee people. St. Patrick East constituency branch, they're having a barbecue luncheon that's scheduled for this Friday, and waiting for more information in relation to that to confirm, right? So that's a barbecue luncheon takeaway. All right, so that's supposed to be taking place this Friday. This Saturday, the Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch of the New National Party, they have a kids' Christmas treat at the NNP office out there in Carriacou.
Forestries and fisheries, all them ministries, we go dead. We go dead.
So that's it for this week. I'm seeing here. So tomorrow, there's the elderly dinner. And so that's at the Grand Bar Community Center for the St. Andrew Southwest constituency. St. Andrew Southeast, they're in Cafe on Thursday. Just moving around and so on. The St. Mark Christmas Fiesta that's taking place this Thursday as well. Friday, you have St. Andrew Southeast. They are going to be in Marquee. St. Patrick East, they're supposed to be having a barbecue, but just waiting on some more info in relation to that. Saturday, St. Andrew Southeast, they're in Soubise. Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they have the kids treat at the NNP office out there. All right, and looking for some more information there. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon, good night, good night.
Yeah, how are you doing, sir? Hello?
Hello?
Man, you and this
Hey,
joke,
Sheldon,
you and
good
this joke 2 signal you just have up there, boy.
Oh gosh, you hit me hard, son. Yeah, anyway, or with the position where I was. First of all, I just want to say this. Uh, we have 16th of December, right in the junction by Karim. Yeah, we'll be holding a Christmas tree lighting there.
We kind
So
of lost,
you're going to hear some praise.
bro. We
Yeah,
lost we
hold
lost
on, hold on.
part
Let me.
we lost part of what you said there.
Yeah, just coming in inside the building, so you're going to hear a little echo. We're having a Christmas tree lighting in Maran on the 16th. That will be Saturday the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we'll be having a Christmas tree lighting there.
And
Yeah,
that will
so,
be
and
exactly
I
where
know
in Maran?
right to the junction.
Okay.
Right to the junction.
Mm-hmm.
And on the main road itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shall to just want to congratulate all our MPs for a job well done at the budget presentation. A job well done. But you know, Monday I was listening to the finance minister of the revenue and expenditure, the estimate of revenue and expenditure. And I sat there for almost 2 hours listening. I'm still waiting to hear the budget presentation. I'm still waiting because all what I hear is condemn the farm administration this, the farm administration that, the farm administration this, you know, and nothing of substance. Nothing of substance. But you know, from the leader of the opposition, go right down to our MPs. The leader started and his pace go right down. In another state, there was condemning and criticizing the administration and cursing the administration. They was giving them, relating them facts and giving them advice on the way forward. And that is the way budget opposition. There was opposing constructive, you know, giving constructive criticism and showing them the way forward, how to improve, what should be there, what does not be there, what was a fact, and they was presenting out factual. But you know who impressed me the most, and I was not surprised? Sister Emmeline Pierre. Man, that woman was the bomb. I admired how she articulated the budget, how she exposed certain things, how she bring out certain figures, you know, and it was just good. It was just good. So I just want to congratulate all of them, and especially my MP, Dr. Morris. I just want to congratulate her. She was very well presented, even though they was trying to see criticizing even before she reached and see they're running, they're afraid of the level of the debate. What debate they are? We that show them how to debate, how a budget debate presentation is supposed to be made. And I thought the most experienced one amongst them should have shown them something, but instead of that experienced one, join them. You know, she joined them in going low in her standard, coming like them, and just bad mouthing people who weigh you, who build you, who make you. You bad mouthing this, you know, it's like you bad mouthing, bad talk it and eat it. After you eat it, you bad talk it. It was a shame to see how she come down, how she comment, especially on the leader of the opposition. And I thought that she would have deal with the housing issue in Carriacou. I don't know. Did she deal with it?
Nope.
No. I thought she would have deal with that issue, seeing as she was the minister of housing. I thought she would have deal with that issue because they threw the woman under the bus. They threw her after they stab her up. They threw her under the bus. because they really run down that project, that housing issue. They well nigh for that issue and not award the fund that woman. But instead of, she did beat up the former administration who she was a part of. And the worst thing about it, Sheila, the worst thing about it, she was a part of that ministry, a part of the former administration. And they directly telling her that she did nothing for the past 2 decades from 2013 to 2022. Nothing. So directly they're telling her on her side she did nothing. That is exactly what they tell her. And she decided and she helping, she said pony table, doing nothing. Anyway, Sheila, let me give somebody else a chance. Let me speak. So I just want to see the Christmas tree lighting on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
I just want everybody at Marana, Victoria, Guelph, come up, come down, come across.
All right.
And come and enjoy yourself. Enough love, enough peace, enough harmony at Maran St. John. Bye, Shalom. Have a good night.
All right. Same to you, brother. Bye-bye. 440-7377. That's a 440-7377. That's the number for you to get on to the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, that's the number to get into tonight's program. Nice? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Know some information I see in there. Papa, you ain't touching that one yet. I have to verify before I go live with that. Yeah. I've got to verify. Yeah, somebody nearly catch me yesterday on something. Nearly catch me. But I had to verify. Yeah? Nice. 440-7377. And I believe we've got a caller on the... Let me see the WhatsApp. Yeah. Let me see if I can bring them on. Hello, good night.
Good night. Is this... well, I will have to call you since the start to have
you could say
so much respect for you.
You could just say Sheldon, I might.
I don't know you that well to call you on your first name.
Okay. You're going to know me,
sir,
man. You're going to know me.
Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen you in functions I've been to.
Great.
But I've never spoken to you. But
we go fix that.
I hope, sir, the other members of Parliament of the new National Party, you will play their speeches. I'm dying to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at St. George's and I'm at St. George man, for those who know my voice and they calling me and cuss me and everything. So I listen, our leader of the opposition, my twin brother, not by blood. He knows who I am. And then my fellow Heinzie school MP, Brother Peter David. He's younger than me. His older brother knew me well. But I need to hear Brother Peter David speech in full. So please, I want to hear him as a St. George man. I want to hear Sister Emmeline Pierre. I want to hear Dr. Clarice Modeste. We are linked, but she doesn't know how we are linked. And Mrs. Peters. I was there the night when Brother Bowler presented her as a candidate. But please, sir, I hope you will play their speeches. I'm waiting I'm waiting, sir. Please, I want to hear.
Okay.
God bless you.
All right. Thank you so very much. Yes, and the caller may have joined late. So just for those of you, because I know many of you join after the half-hour point. So we will be broadcasting each of the speeches. Starting on Thursday night, we're going to be doing Dr. Mitchell's presentation, followed by the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters' presentation. Both of them will be on Thursday night. And then on Friday night, and we're starting at 7. So we won't be starting at the normal 8 p.m. We'll be starting a bit earlier at 7. All right. And I know for those of you in the U.S., it means that you have to check your time in it. So we will be starting at 7 Grenada time on Thursday night and on Friday night. And on Friday night, we will be broadcasting the presentations by Honorable Clarice Modescoin, Honorable Peter David, and Honorable Emlyn Pay. So you will have an opportunity Thursday night and Friday night to hear the speeches that were delivered in Parliament over the past few days. All right, so we'll make sure that we're doing that over the next few days so that you would have not tomorrow. Tomorrow night we have our normal program. I should be having a guest on with me tomorrow night. We have some issues we have to clear up again. Obfuscation and so by the present administration trying to blame the NNP again for their inability to do the job that the Grenadian people have given them to do. Yeah, always trying to blame the NNP. As soon as something ain't working, blame NNP. You understand? Yeah, that's what they're continually doing. 440-7377. 440-7377. That is the number for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program. 440-7377. And we have a caller on the line. Good night.
Yes, good evening, my brother. How is everything going?
I'm good, Pastor. How are you doing? How's the family?
Doing good. Everybody's really well. Thank you.
Wonderful. You go right ahead.
Right. So on Sunday evening at the concert, we would be having a desk set up for registration for new members or new students of the Westall Music Academy. We're going to be starting back our music classes the first Monday of January. So it's not only the concert, but we also want to we have room for many others. All right. Once they could identify fonts and letters, all right, numbers and fonts, we can suddenly have them in school. Now you're gonna be hearing young students like Akash Bagwan, Rene Duncan on the tenor sax, or Akash is on the clarinet. We'll be having Jelani Cyrus on the tenor. Yeah, we'll be having Tori George alto. Derissa Wilkinson. Watch me. We have some special children there, young men and young ladies.
Let me ask.
Thomas.
Let me ask. Hey. What age groups we talking here? What age range we speaking of here?
Okay, so the youngest one that you're gonna be hearing on the keyboard, that's gonna be 8 years old. Sorry, she's 8 years.
Wow.
And then we have a 9-year-old, right? That's Jenna. Keziah Thomas is the 8-year-old one. So between 8 years and at least 20, because my big son gonna be playing too. He said, Daddy, I want my clarinet. So I really got it for him this week. So he gonna be as Peck Jones. Everybody know Peck Jones. He's a producer, on the West Point team, So he's also a member of the Westall Music Academy. My small son, Chevon, that's one they call Pecklin. Keyboard, bass guitar, drums. We have Ethan Bartholomew. We have Jared Stafford. Watch me. We got a lot of known folks that they're going to be hearing. They're going to be hearing solid music, solid oldies, Christmas songs, you know. We have some contemporary ones. The Mystic Sax one you're hearing there, that's one that I took under my arm from Heinz Z. That's Jarrell Bartholomew. That's Mystic Sax. You know, he's based in the United States right now, but he comes home every year this time. You know, just came back to bury his mom last month.
Oh dear.
You know, so sad. You know, may God make peace with her soul. Rest in peace. You know, so we want you to come out and support the event, and that the proceedings would be towards the finishing of the school. You know, we did make some advance, but we need to finish it. So right here at Wester Hall. So it's a no nonsense program. It's a great program that children could come and learn an instrument. The only instrument we don't teach here is the violin, and we intend to have a violin teacher soon. But we do all the other instruments from recorder up to tuba, you know, euphonium. So we have them here. Make sure you come out and hear what these children, these young people, young men and ladies have to offer. All right?
One thing I'll say, Pastor, I hope that you have a very competent team there filming what is taking place. Because I believe this is something that should be rebroadcast, and tell them, make sure and check the audio levels, make sure they get the audio proper. We want to see this afterwards.
Just Cool is our photographer. And that's Check Lee. Just Cool.
Yeah. And checkers, yeah.
If guys want to view the program, we have the pay-per-view setup, you know.
Oh, so you've got a pay-per-view. Nice.
Yes, we got a pay-per-view, and it's 20 US for the view. All right, we just let you know by Thursday or Friday, right? No program, no call-in Friday.
Yeah, but I'll put it up on the Facebook page. At least people would be able to get it off of there, and we'll send out a blast with it. Yeah.
Right. So if they want a taste of it, they could go to the one last year at the Trade Center. You just have to type in West Hall Music Academy in concert.
Okay.
2022. All right. So you take care. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you so very much, Pastor. All right.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're
indeed.
welcome.
And folks, yeah, that's a wonderful one. You know, you could get the young ones involved in the music, the Wester Hall Music Academy. Get the young ones involved in that. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking already. We've got a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good, bro. How are you?
Tired, man. Tired.
I know it's that time of year for you, eh?
Yes, and not just that. What it really is that, to be honest with you, we have some nice, serious potholes. Yeah, and also the most thing amazing is that it makes driving lots of difficult, especially coming through Granville. There's in Miss Evelyn's Pier area there's a corner. I think you have to drive less than 5 or 6 miles per hour because it's wavy. Lots of roads are wavy.
Bumpy corner. That's
yeah,
what they call bumpy
just
corner.
one, but lots of California, Western, Woburn, Woodlands. You go through Boca, Bolio. This thing is very dangerous. And the dangerous part is it makes it dangerous for the emergency vehicle. Now, what normally happens now, you damage your tires and your suspensions. It is that bad, I'm telling you. Now, if you have a high vehicle and you feel you want to drive, there's a chance that you may flip. Yeah, there's a chance you may flip because the vehicles actually bump.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's making driving a lot more difficult.
And not just that, right? There's nothing like you can patch this. This thing has to be completely removed. And as the holidays coming up, I don't know how this is going to be managed. Because actually when you remember you're driving and the vehicle is bumping. So how do you control your vehicle?
You go see the patching crew, man. Don't worry, you go see patching crews.
But it cannot work. Patching cannot work in condition because it's like
you go see the patching
because it's like the Atlantic Ocean is on the streets of Grenada. The waves keeps coming. It's like that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I've been driving a lot for the past week or so. So I have to call and tell you that It's really hard and tiring. It makes you tired a lot.
Oh boy, so I can imagine why the
Because
bus drivers are going in early now. Because
yeah,
after you
but I
make
mean,
that a couple times, you're tired. You can't handle it again.
no, it's honestly, it makes you very, very tired because you don't have a smooth flow of driving. You know, you drive for 10, 15 minutes and you have to mash brakes and mash. It's just completely, and there's no way, as I said before, that you could take a chance to say you go jump a hump or somebody humps because you're going to damage your vehicle worse than what it is. So you have to go through this very, very, very slow. You know, and it's not one road. There are many roads and many, many spots. I don't know how this is going to work out for the holiday. I'm just a little bit scared of it. You know? Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thanks for your input. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Hole in the hole. You see them pothole up. The pothole have pothole. You see some of them pothole and them they make children. Right? Yeah. Someone was asking that. I saw mention on the YouTube in the comments there about an individual who mentioned Mr. Francis Mahon, the late Francis Mahon, in Parliament. And the person who has commented there, the commentator who has commented there, is making a valuable point. The person who was calling Mr. Francis Mahon side from on the government side, should I encourage them to pay M&M the money that the government of Grenada have for M&N? Yeah? Pay the money. That is what should I encourage them to do. Again, I know the amount and I could call the amount here. I could, but it's not my business to call it here. But let me just say it's a significant amount. Yeah? For some people, that amount could start 2 other people businesses that the government of Grenada have for that institution. So don't come and play like all so they like him. And all was so broken up by it. If all they care about him, all that make sure that the company that Mr. Mahon worked hard to build, that they were paid the money that was owed by the government of Grenada. Yeah? All they pay all kind of other people. People who come after and do stuff get their money. All they didn't bother to pay that particular company. Yeah? People come in and do things last month and gain the money. But that particular company, all they just have a pile of money for them and refusing to pay. And then come in and play all they so like him. Why they didn't tell all the Minister of Finance and all the Prime Minister to go and pay the man? Why they didn't tell him that? Come on talking about Mr. Francis Mahon, stand up calling him. You should shame to call his name. Well, they should shame. But all they went to funeral and blah, 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 blah. I should shame. Take the man's name out of them out. They had no shame. 440-7377. That's the number to get on the inside. We have roughly about 15 minutes. Yeah, roughly about 15 minutes remaining on tonight's program. Roughly about 15 minutes. So the lines are open. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number you can call to get on the inside. To my friend who called a little while ago and was saying that they make out your voice and they're calling you, and take their number and send it for us. We know how to deal with them. Any of them play they calling you and telling you thing and they want us just send the number for us, man. Send the number, go deal with them. Yeah, any of them play they calling you and disrespecting you and all kind of thing because you share your views. Send the number for us. Yeah, man, there's a lot of us, you know. The last person that tried that will never call this program again. I blocked them, you know, but they would never call again. They're making a mistake. Yeah? Right. Our good friends in St. Lucia, how are you all going tonight? I have a set of St. Lucians that they fall in love with Talking Points. They're listening on a nightly basis. I think we need to get a little update from St. Lucia early in the new year. Not before the Christmas. Early in the new year, we need to get a little update as to what is taking place in St. Lucia. We need to get a little update as to what is taking place. Let me say a very special good night to the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Service. A very, very special good night to each and every one of you. We've got a caller line. Good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing?
Yeah, 2 comments.
Yes, go ahead.
The gentleman that talk about the road. Yes, it's a real problem now. The road breaking up and nobody, only patching one little hole,
what they have to do, even though they patch the hole, but when they patch one side, the next side is starting to break up. So just if you're caught in one area where the hole break up, just cut the whole area so you won't have this breaking in the road. So as they patch one side, the next side starting. When the waterfall is settling on the other side, so the whole road breaking up. So you patch that side, it break up. The other side break up. Then you go and patch the other side break up. So it's stupidness they're doing in the road there. The other thing is, I was in the funeral of M&N, Mr. Mahan.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard number 10 spoke, I said, what? A lot of poor people would have be glad to get what she get. The freeness she loves so much and so plain passionate. Talk about only she and what she gets in and what and what she gets. And so I personally find, and I said it over and over, why she don't tell the government, her government, what she joined, to pay Mahan, pay them, they need the money. The family need the money.
The company still need it.
A lot of staff to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Pay them people the money.
Christmas, they could get a little bonus on that.
Yes, they come in Mahan funeral, they see the crowd, as if they feel, well, there is a place for meet and greet. They come up, first time I see they come in cemetery. They never custom, they pass in the church sometime and they move. They was up in the cemetery, up in the back of them people building up the, coming and had how do you call them, cameramen, smart cameramen or hiding cameramen, when he go and shake people's hand, taking up people's picture and putting up people's picture without their consent. They have to stop that. This thing will be on the study to pay the man than to come and look for mileage in the funeral. A little hypocrite. Set a hypocrite and parasite sucking the blood of the sufferers in Grenada. I have to stop that. Tell NDC they have to stop that. Tell Dick they have to stop that. I want a message go out. And I want number 10 to tell him you have to stop that and stop lying. He lying too much. It's time people getting fed up with he. You have to stop that. All right, good night.
All right, my dear. It's like they have a lying factory. It's like they have a lying factory. The police officers say shall and play the thing that man you're holding back with team song right now. No, not that one. The police say play their team song, yeah.
Listen.
4407377.
Something just as unexpected. But certain things that I see going on. We should close down our station from the nation. Why? Cause all you fretting me. We walk good about you, don't give a fuck. Administration is riding we back. All you fretting me. You hear me? Most of us do the pre-promotion course. Now you jump still and busting we. All you fretting me.
Yeah, man, that's yeah, that's the only place in us here you have a commissioner. And the good thing, I saw a post by Brenda Batiste today, and it says a lot. Yeah, I must mention that post I saw by Brenda Batiste today. It spoke to the character of the individual who is Mr. Edwin Martin, that he left. Yeah, they were saying all sort of thing about he's ill and he can't continue, and so he can't continue. Got a job with CARICOM as the gunza. Yeah, the person who was in charge, dealing with the issue of guns coming into the Caribbean region and dealing with that. Yeah, that is how the CARICOM saw him in that level, and now the Turks and Caicos have hired him as their commissioner of police. Yeah, so according to the NDC operatives out there, he wasn't well and therefore he had to go as commissioner of police. But he wasn't well for Grenada, but he more than well for Turks and Caicos. Yeah, they grab him. Yeah, they grab him. And as one caller was making the point last night, there seems to be this trend of people that are under the NDC. It seems as though they're too good for Grenada. You understand? So you get rid of them and allow other countries to pick them up. Yeah? And it seems to be a trend that happens when an NDC administration is in office. And you have to ask yourself, what really going on with these people. Lyndon Fatman George, good night to you, sir. Patricia and Matthew, good night. Ian in Canada, good night to you. All the other listeners out there in Canada, again, all your own special tonight. All the listeners out there in Canada, good night to you. And let me say a special good night to my cousin Margaret and her husband Moulton. I know that both of you are listening. So a special good night to you. Cousin Ira, good night to you. Uncle Ba. I wonder if Uncle Ba is still up. Yeah, Uncle Ba listening, man. Cousin Kent, good night to all you. Good night to each and every one of you. I hope that you all having a good night tonight.
Don't fret me, don't fret me, don't fret me, don't fret me, don't fret me. I said don't fret me, don't fret me. All your fretting me. Yeah. Right up the reader. Every bull is walking around the clock to get all the black and video back. When we hold the culprit behind the fence, some complain and say.
So yeah, 4407377. We just have about 7 minutes remaining on tonight's program. Remember Thursday's activity, Diamond Square in St. Mark. So the bouncing castle and the activities for the children, they start at 2 o'clock, finishing around 6. They're going to have karaoke. They're going to have live music. They're going to have food, a fun time. Various giveaways. And so I think the CAC squad people are going to be up there and different things.
Don't fret me.
And then remember, coming in, is it January or February, they have Breadfruit Fest coming up there in St. Mark as well. Last year was the bomb. I reached a little too late, boy. What? I ain't reaching late this year to Breadfruit Fest now, man. First time I see breadfruit cooked in so many different ways, yeah? Lasha breadfruit.
If you come and meet them, then I got it.
We've got a call online. Good night.
Good night to Sheldon Scott. Good night to all of your wonderful listeners.
Good night, Doc.
To Grenada, Caracon, Petit Martinique, and wherever you may be. And I heard you mention our good friend Fatman George. I want to say good night to him. I had a nice conversation with him today. And I have to give some names of people that have listened to you in Canada, you know.
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
when I ain't listening, it's them that will tell me what's going on, you know. And tell them, Scott.
Yeah.
So good night.
So
I listened a bit on and off because I was involved in something. But I'm heading for home now, and I said before you close off, let me just say good night to you and to encourage you to keep on doing the wonderful job you're doing.
Thank you.
And for all of us to remind Grenadians that we are resilient people, we are strong people, and we will survive the present NDC.
Of course. And Doc,
and we'll get over.
We want to make sure and place on record our congratulations on your excellent presentation to the House of Representatives yesterday. We want to make sure and place that on record. It was an excellent presentation. We will be replaying it on Friday night. We will be replaying it so that everyone can, and probably over the weekend again. You know, we're going to play it on Friday and over the weekend as well so that people can hear the presentation and how you delved into the issue of health, because now I kind of charge up and I want to hear how the Minister of Health go respond. I know he can't, but he will try.
Well, yeah, we have to hear. We have to hear. That's why I had to bring the facts and figures. And then I have to beg you for a little time so I could address some of the issues in my constituencies another time. Because, to tell you the truth, I was so taken up with the health in the planning of my budget speech. And even in the execution, I expected to leave a little more for my constituency and some other things that I had to speak on neighboring constituencies, but it didn't quite work out.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that people know that the health of the nation is the wealth. So when I speak on health, I am really speaking for everybody, and I'm sure my constituents understand that. And but there are some issues that I have to raise, and I'll sneak in on one of your programs, and we'll have a chat.
Of course, and we're going to do that early in the new year. I think
Well,
we have to have that chat bright and early because I know Breadfruit Fest coming up. Somebody messaged me and say February. I have
you
my bread.
tell me when, but I'll probably call in now and then and speak on one or two matters.
Of course.
Yes. So, keep up the good works, and to all our Grenadian people who have become so aware. All right.
Yeah.
They have become so aware of the issues,
Mm-hmm.
and they realize that it is important to be informed. And I like that.
Of
So
course.
commendations to you and the others. I listened earlier on. I listened to the Prince in the classroom,
Mm-hmm.
and he did an excellent piece there. And your program, I heard it, snippets of it here and there
Mm-hmm.
because I was otherwise engaged. But commendations to all of you, to Real FM and all of the people who do the program, and to bring that awareness, because now the people who lived in darkness, they will be seen as, they are seen as great light. And
Let
now
me-
you're seeing the kind of people, the caliber of people on our side, and those on the other side.
Let me
So
say.
I know it's wrapping up time for you.
No, it's wrapping up time, but I want to give you the opportunity to personally invite folks to the activity on Thursday. I don't want you to leave and you do personally, and I want them to know that Dr. Modest invite them.
Okay, well, thank you for that opportunity. So good night to all listeners, and this invitation, unfortunately, is for persons who are in the mainland in Grenada on Thursday, or who will be, because it's a live program we're going to be having on Diamond Street in the same area where they do the food fest. We'll be having a Christmas fiesta and trying to bring the Christmas season, the feeling of Christmas and the meaning of Christmas into it. So we'll be having, some of the local, well, not local, the well-known Christmas songs, and we'll have some new ones. We have some artists coming in, and you did call all of the names. And we have our own choir, and I want them to come out and hear me sing,
Yeah, bonjour.
Yes.
Well, no self, I have to find my way up there.
Well, that is the thing. Our choir is led by Dr. Julie Dubois. She's well versed in the musical field. And but we'll have some fun things. We'll have karaoke competition. We'll have other games. We have, of course, bouncing castle for the children. And I want to refresh it that it starts early. It starts somewhere about 3 o'clock, because we know it gets dark early these days. So we want them to have a good 3 hours or so, good fun on the bouncing castle. So they have to be there early. 2:30, 3 o'clock, be there. If you want to bounce more than once, especially, you've got to come early, because once it gets dark, we're going to kind of stop that and do. And local foods on sale, breadfruit and fish, and we have wild meat, manikou, tattoo, and I don't know whatever other wild meat, but definitely I know.
Once is not monkey.
No.
Once is not our one. I ain't in that.
Personally, I find monkeys too close to human beings.
Yeah, I
to
ain't
be
in
honest
that.
with you,
I ain't in that.
I
ain't making no joke of that.
I watch monkey. I've seen the Mona monkey up in Granite Town, and I haven't had much direct experience with them, but you watch things on TV and so on. But I mean, I respect everybody to each his own.
Yeah, who
But
want to eat it, but not me.
The manikou and the tattoo will be there, and of course we'll have some black cake on sale. We'll have some potato pudding on sale. So all these little local things, Tanya log, that people like. to bring back those old feelings. So it is really going to be fun, and it's going to be top quality. It is, who is our event planner? Brother, no other than Brother Royden B. Harris. So you know you're going to be coming to see quality. We have good DJ music. We have live band. We have just about everything. We want to bring the festive season into the community with whatever little we have. And I want to say, take this opportunity to also thank those who contributed. People have given a 1-1. You know, it's a 1-1 cocoa full of basket.
Of
Have
course.
made some contributions towards that. And I'm sure that the community will be, will see the spirit of Christmas with those little contributions and the heartwarming outpouring that I've seen so far. So we want everybody to come and have fun, not only the people of St. Mark, but people far and wide. Thank you.
All right, Doc. And we look forward to being there on Thursday. Those of us that can make it, look forward to being there on Thursday and to hear from you very soon again. Thank you so very much.
Very soon. So we'll talk. Thanks, and thanks to all those who listened and all those who encouraged us through that budget presentation time. Thank you.
All right, great. Folks, it's 3 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. You know what I have got to do? Yeah, you know how it does go. So in everything you say, everything you do, do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Tomorrow night, folks, I'm going to have Mr. Alvin Dabrio is going to be on with me to discuss several issues. All right, so I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, it's going to be Mr. Dabrio's first time on Talking Points. So we're looking forward to that one tomorrow night. All right, good. So I am out of here. All right, enjoy the rest of your night and stay safe. Let me leave on this one.
And I'm boys and I will go there. But yeah. Oh, leave it before I don't show. G2. If the voice of the people is the voice of God, why?